The preparing Asia 2025 Community Summit, which will be held in Bangkok. My good friend Midnight and all the office bearers of APCOM. It is a matter of great privilege for me to address this meeting, and I particularly feel unfortunate for not being able to present personally amongst you to participate in this conference. I sincerely regret my inability to come and participate. But I really want to appreciate the efforts of APCOM to hold this conference at this critical moment of time in the AIDS response. I think it has come not a day too soon. If you look at the general picture around us, earlier we always used to say that AIDS response is at crossroads. We can't even say that now. I think AIDS response is in jeopardy, not even crossroads. That is the position today. And the events of the last 6 months to 1 year are really very, very disturbing in terms of the policy environment, in terms of the support to AIDS prevention programs, HIV prevention programs and treatment programs, and also the general legal environment in countries surrounding the communities. So it's a very difficult situation we face today. It started with the WHO, which was actually a very powerful ally for treatment programs, and then it is PEPFAR, it was USAID. One by one, the organizations which are supporting AIDS programs, which are in the forefront of AIDS response globally, are weakened financially and also in terms of policy environment. And the latest is UNAIDS, where it is not in weakening. They said it will be the end of AIDS, not end of AIDS, not end of UNAIDS almost. It says that UNAIDS will sunset. I mean, this is a nice word to say, that sunset happens naturally, but this is something that is happening artificially. Sunsetting UNAIDS. I don't know what will happen after that, but if you look at the role that UNAIDS played in the last 20-25 years, it has been the rallying point for communities. Starting from the UN General Assembly's special session on gas of 2000, I think we have found the UNAIDS being a very strong supporter of the communities and their empowerment and giving them a voice globally and also at the country level. So today, in terms of policy response, policy environment, I think we face a serious crisis both globally as well as at the country level. If this is the picture globally, if you look at the countries, you find again they have gone into silence. I think we are seeing the word AIDS not being uttered in any policy statement in many Asia Pacific countries. Whereas the picture, the epidemic itself, it is not showing any sign of reducing, any sign of abating. The new infections are still increasing in countries, big countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh and some of the Asia Pacific countries like Fiji and Papua New Guinea. And even in countries like India, there are some provinces where the new infections are still increasing. And today we have got something like 6 million infections, I think, totally in Asia Pacific region. And new infections are occurring every other day. And if you look at the coverage of prevention programs, I think it is very, very low. It has got even lesser than what it was maybe 10-15 years back. So we are seeing the tap, the leaking tap, not being closed at all. In fact, the leak is increasing. So if this is the situation, then definitely one can see that over a period of time, there is a threat of resurgence. And it happened in other epidemics also. So that is the writing on the wall, unfortunately. and it is a matter of serious concern for all of us who are assembling at this particular moment. And I appeal to you to see that no stone is unturned to approach the policymakers at the global level, especially at the United Nations and also the country governments, to see this impending threat of a resurgence of AIDS in the world. Sunsetting AIDS, even AIDS, is not an answer. It is not an answer if we are serious about reducing the number of new infections and seeing the end of AIDS by 2030, which is just 5 years down the line. And where are we in reducing the number of new infections? And if you look at new technologies which are coming in, which have already come in, like PrEP or the long-acting injectables, etc., there is very little uptake. Very few countries have seriously taken them on board and provided the PrEP options to people who would like to avail them. And if you look at the long-acting injectables, I think very few countries are even seriously thinking of increasing it including it in the national programs, because they are still costly. I think efforts need to be made to see that they are affordable to people, to communities at various levels. So unless this is done, these new technologies which has come in, which have great promise to reduce the number of new infections, they will just remain on board. They will not be implemented. So I think that is one area where we need to very strongly advocate with the countries. And again, going back to the UNAIDS, I would stress that we should not accept this decision or this recommendation to sunset UNAIDS. Instead of that, there can be a very good alternative formulation which I want to present before you for consideration. See, UNAIDS today looks at policy environment, treatment programs, prevention, global advocacy, many things. But there are certain things which can be easily passed on to the governments or to WHO also, like some of the biomedical interventions. But if it remains a very strong advocate of prevention programs and also empowering communities, keeping communities in the focus, and also bringing in the new technologies for implementation, if the agenda is correctly focused, I think it can remain as a lean organization with less number of people, but with a very powerful and strong message to the countries. That could be the alternative formulation which can be presented to the Secretary General and also to the global the UN General Assembly for consideration. That could be a solution for the future and not sunsetting UNAIDS. And if you look at the policy environment at the country level also, we need to present this alternative that you have to reduce the number of new infections. Otherwise, 2030 ending AIDS will remain a dream. It is not going to be a reality. And 5 years down the line, we will see the same picture as we are seeing today around the world, especially in the Asia Pacific. We have a great opportunity in this region, because this region has been pioneer for prevention programs. If you look at some of the focused interventions with communities like sex workers or gay communities or transgenders, etc., this region has taken the lead. Thailand has taken the lead. India has taken the lead. So why are we slowing down? Why are we giving away a very great opportunity that we created? Why are we frittering it away? This is a question that we need to ask the governments. And I think we need to be bold enough to do that, because governments are not talking. They are not talking. If you look at some of the policy documentation for health in some of the countries, I can speak for India, the word HIV/AIDS doesn't figure anywhere. That way it is not a priority anymore. Either the thing is already over or it is not a concern at all. That is the type of options we are seeing. So I think we need to bring very strongly to the governments that we are losing an opportunity to control a global pandemic. which so much of good work has been done over the last 20-25 years. And why are we resting now? Why are we wasting this opportunity? That's the question I think we need to ask. At the global level, to the Secretary General, and at the national level, to the countries. So I think it is a great opportunity, and APCOM has created a forum, created a platform for a very serious discussion on alternatives, policy alternatives, innovations, implementation of programs, and all these issues. I find there are a number of sessions which are devoted to these issues. I think if we can come up with some powerful messages to the powers that be at various levels, I think we'll be able to achieve the objective of holding this conference. So I once again congratulate Midnight, my friend, and all the office bearers of APCOM, and all of you from the communities, from governments, from wherever you have come, who have assembled here for these 3 days to discuss and come out with a framework and with a positive recommendation. I wish the conference all success. Once again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. Thank you very much.